Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see your deck featured on the channel, hang out with me and the amazing BoshNRoll community on Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, or book an individual coaching session, check out the Patreon and YouTube member links in the video description. Use the code BoshNRoll to get 10% off the best Magic apparel on the market at coalesceapparel.shop. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to order cards from tcgplayer.com, or play any deck, anytime, with a Magic Online loan account from cardhoarder.com. Thanks again for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber Justin. And Justin has submitted Izzet Murktide to the channel. He's been pretty reliable to do this every 2 or 3 months since Izzet Murktide, or since Murktide Regent came out. Dedicated to the grind. I appreciate it and love an excuse to play tier 1 decks once in a while on the channel. This one actually has kind of an interesting arc to it, where it takes me like 5 or 6 weeks from when you submit a deck to when it goes live, with my backlog and how busy I am and everything. Like that's a little back end business for those of you who have not talked to me about it. And a lot can change in 5 or 6 weeks in a healthy moving metagame. And the original pitch for this list was, Justin reached out and was like, do you want to try the new Ledger Shredder builds of Izzet? They don't play Dragon's Rage Channeler, and they go a little like deeper into the late game, and they've been chewing up challenge results. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. And here we are 5 to 6 weeks later. And he messaged me last week and was like, did you record yet? Because Dragon Rage Channeler is great, and the deck feels really anemic without it. And basically, we're just circled back to having Dragon's Rage Channeler in the deck again, when the original pitch was to play it with Ledger Shredder instead. But now we get both. I'm into it. The concern with Dragon's Rage Channeler is that it gets just picked off by Wrenn and 6, and just ramming into Murktide Regents because it has to attack in the mirror doesn't feel great. What Justin did to kind of mitigate that a little bit was 1 sleight of hand in the main and 1 dress down in the main. Those are both defensible cards you can play. They both cantrip at minimum, and dress down has a lot more upside than that. But it's also a sorcery and an enchantment to help really maximize for Delirium, where if you can get Dragon's Rage Channeler up out of Wrenn and 6 ping range, then it becomes much better in those matchups than it was when you don't have Delirium. You're still going to run into Murktide some amount of the time, but that's part of the game. You can't solve the sometimes it's a 1-1 and sometimes it's a 3-3 problems at the same time. But I like beating up on Wrenn and 6 more than I like tangling with Murktides in the mirror. I started in the weeds. Let's zoom out a little bit and just talk about the deck. Hopefully this doesn't need a lot of introduction at this point. Murktide Regent, Dragon's Rage Channeler, and Ragavan have been the trifecta of doom since Modern Horizons 2 came out. They just sort of gave an entire Izzet tempo mid-range shell to every format where it's legal to do this. Vintage has a Ragavan Murktide deck. Ragavan is banned in Legacy, but DRC and Murktide continue to dominate there. And this has been in the tier 1 of Modern the whole time as well. The plan is, of course, to present early pressure with Dragon's Rage Channeler and Ragavan, make your opponent react, make them play off kilter, get some 1-for-1s with cards like Spell Pierce, Counterspell, fix your draws with Consider, Sleight of Hand, Mishra's Bauble, and when the dust settles, and if they're ever able to stabilize against the early beats, here come the 8/8s and bigger, backed up by Lightning Bolt that can just go face if your life total's too low. And the new piece since the last time I recorded this deck is Ledger Shredder. 2 mana 1/3. Whenever a player, so that's you or your opponent, casts their second spell in a turn, Ledger Shredder connives, which is draw a card, discard a card. If you discard an online card, Ledger Shredder gets a +1/+1 counter. This is a deck based on spell velocity and filling its graveyard anyway, and it also is about attacking while you do it, and Ledger Shredder just slots into all of those roles. Ledger Shredder immediately a staple in most formats. Kind of on the fringe of Legacy playability, but you do see it there. I have seen it and played it in Vintage. I don't know if it's good enough there, but it's certainly been tried. But every smaller format, it's just a staple. And no difference here. The sideboard is just, you know, reactions to what the format's doing. We got some extra counter spells in Flusterstorm and Mystical Dispute. Dress down for the decks with creatures or constructs that you need to shut off. Subtlety for when you need to go fast or answer. I do love that Subtlety costs 4. Like, 4 is really castable compared to Fury and Solitude. You frequently do end up with 4 mana and get these cool tempo plays. Fury, speaking of, I like the split of Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon, because Magus of the Moon gets lightning bolted off of the mountains you just gave them if they have lightning bolts, but it doesn't get Besaged or Force of Vigored. And Blood Moon gets Besaged or Force of Vigored, but doesn't get lightning bolted or whatever. So, like, splitting the difference, making your opponent guess what the answer to Blood Moon has to be. Then we got Engineered Explosives, mostly for Rhinos and Chalice of the Void kind of stuff. Unlicensed Hearse for graveyards, and Tormod's Crypt also for graveyards. And that's the deck. This is pretty simple from the bird's eye view, but there's going to be a zillion tiny little micro decisions when we're actually in there playing. Let's try it out. I'm on the draw in round 1 with a hand that has no threat, but is going to see a ton of cards. I'm going to keep this. I have 2 baubles and a fetch land, so I can do the bauble myself trick, see if I want the top card in my deck. All right, we're playing against some Arid Mesa. Oh, baby. This Insolent Neonate is rarely in fair decks, so slightly concerned here. Oh, the nutters. Okay. Plans have changed. We're going to channel some Rage of Dragons. Ledger Shredder. I am going to graveyard that, because I'm just trying to shred for Delirium right now. Definitely don't want this land. Probably should have popped the first bauble for information before I went and just cracked off the second. Flameblade Adept on top of their deck, so there's some sort of discard. I wonder what that means for me. Does that mean anything? Is there any reason to pop my bauble right now? I don't think so. I'll just save it, get more information. I was unable to achieve Delirium here. This creature has Menace, can't block it, even if I wanted to. And I don't want to, just for the record. The Sleight of Hand, though, is prepared to give me Delirium immediately. Having that sorcery in the deck is nice. Hollow 1 on top of my opponent's deck. Okay. Figured that's where this was going, kind of. Draw for bauble, draw for turn. Oh. I think getting Ledger Shredder into play is going to do more for me. Right, so Neonate is discard a card, sacrifice this, draw a card. We know they're drawing Hollow 1. Flameblade Adept can get +1/+0 until end of turn when you discard a card. So they can have a 3/2 Menace and cast Hollow 1 next turn, like at minimum. I think I want to fetch my other basic island and play Ledger Shredder and invest in the future. Like, I feel like a burst of activity is coming out of this deck at some point, and I'm going to want Counterspell when that happens, but I don't think we're there yet. And I'm not convinced that racing this deck with a 3/3 that has to attack is the way. Goblin Lore, draw 4, discard 3. Okay. They got to keep their Hollow 1. If you've ever watched the channel, you know that every time I cast a Goblin Lore effect, I end up discarding 3 Hollow 1s and keeping all the worst cards in my hand. They discarded Ox of Agonis and kept the Hollow 1. If they play their Hollow 1, though, I get to Connive. That is a spell for the turn. And that would have given me Delirium, so attacking first makes a lot of sense here. 4, 5, 6. Am I willing to trade off Dragon's Rage Channeler for a creature here for Insolent Neonate? I don't think so. I'll take the extra 1. I'm not going to block the 4-power creature here. There's Arid Mesa. An Underworld Cookbook. I get to Connive. I could just discard the Sleight of Hand, but that's going to be one of my spells next turn. I'm going to discard this Scalding Tarn. There's Hollow 1. I need Unholy Heat. Like, there's a lot of red removal in this deck, and I have come up with none of it so far. And Mishra's Bauble is a spell for Ledger Shredder. Put this Misty Reinforced in the graveyard. I'm going to get the information that I can by peeking at the top of their deck. They're drawing Arid Mesa. And Cookbook means this is also an Azmoran deck. And Sleight of Hand. If I Surveil first, if I Connive first, I see more cards. Or is it the same? If I Surveil, I can decide if I want the top card or not. If I Connive first, right, I'm going to Surveil first. Murktide Regent. Okay, I've decided I want my top card. And then I Connive. I think I get rid of Ragavan here. He's not really going to find a home. Though, Murktide Regent's going to be a 4/4 on arrival, which is not very good. Right, Ragavan's still not great here. Sleight of Hand. On Ragavan anyway. I think I'd rather have Ragavan than... Or no, if I take the land, then next turn I can Murktide and Counterspell. But I'm probably have to Murktide now. And I think I need to keep Dragon's Rage Channeler back as a blocker. Because most of their creatures have Menace. Okay, I'm going to Murktide. It's only a 4/4, unfortunately. Just spells didn't really happen this game. And they have Ox of Agonis in the graveyard. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to hold up Counterspell this turn, but I'm already behind on board. It's just not a single red removal spell in the top 20 cards in my deck. Burning Inquiry. Alright, let's get weird. I now have Delirium again. Okay, that was a really good Burning Inquiry for me. Oh, they hit 2 Vengevines? Oh no. And we know Ox of Agonis is there at the minimum. If any creature comes off of this Ox, then we're just getting venged. Yeah, I am not winning this game. You get to Connive. I think the chance for Counterspell is passed, but making Ledger Threader 3/5 means it can tangle with Vengevine or Hollow One. If they found a Hollow One or any 1-drop, or like any Root Walla off of this draw 3, I am dead. Cycling Street Wraith. Azmoran would also be a creature here. Bummer. Okay. Not looking good here, team. I will see if I can survive this combat, though I don't think that I can. 5, 6, 7. Oh, maybe I can be a 3. The board's not pretty on the back end, but I am at least here. In the game still. Pushing with everything, as you do. I think I have to trade with Vengevine, eat Vengevine, trade with Hollow One, take 5, 6, 7, go to 3, and they can make it 1 more with Cookbook if they want to. A Flamewake Phoenix. Oh, they had another Neonate that they just cast as well. So 7, 8, 9. I'm at 1. Don't like being at 1 against all these menace creatures. Can't fetch, can't shock. Can't play the game on the mana I have. There's no basic mountain in the deck to spike off this Consider. Okay, yep. I think if I could have Lightning Bolted this Flamewake Adept any turn before now, this game's actually competitive. And just Burning Inquiry, developing 2 Vengevines, Goblin Lore, not discarding their Hollow One. Everything worked the way it was supposed to for them over there. Okay, Unlicensed Hearse, Fury. I like all of those. Dress Down doesn't do much. Like, it can stop like an Ox of Agonis trigger. It can take the haste off of Vengevine. I don't think that's a card I actually want to dedicate space to. Subtlety can slow down what they're doing, which is basically all I want in the world. Flusterstorm hits Burning Inquiry and Goblin Lore, which are the enablers. This is a lot of cards I'm looking at bringing in. I don't know if I have that many to cut. Prioritizing these, I think Fury and Hearse are the must-haves. Flusterstorm and Subtlety are the nice-to-haves, and Tormod's Crypt is the extra. Spell Pierce. That's kind of like Flusterstorm. Flusterstorm's probably better, though. Dress Down can come out. This is a lot of baubles, and like, I get that the deck is built with Ledger Shredder and Dragon's Rage Channeler, and you want all those baubles, but also Lightning Bolt is nice. They have a lot of X1 creatures, but I'm on the play, and I'm bringing in Fury, so I don't want to beat up on my Ragavans too much here. I'm going to shave another bauble. I feel like with the Spell Pierces in the deck, maybe the Flusterstorms are overkill. And I'm not finding room for Tormod's Crypt here. I would like this other subtlety. Right now I have the 2 Hearst Fury and a subtlety. If I can find room for one more subtlety, that would be nice. Maybe one of the Ragavans can come out. Explosives does mop up their 1-drops that they have a lot of, but my deck has 8 Lightning Bolts in it, and I just boarded in Fury. I'll just try to draw some of them this game. The reason I'm not highly prioritizing Tormod's Crypt is because a lot of their stuff that comes out of the graveyard is just creatures at the end of the day. And this deck can tangle with creatures. It's not like Living End, where if the graveyard thing happens, you're dead. There's a little more to it than that. I think I'm just going to hold up Spire, Bluff, Canal, and pass. Because if they lead on Neonate, I can't attack with Ragavan anyway. And if they lead on Burning Inquiry, the Spell Pierce is huge. All right, I'm going to Spell Pierce the Cookbook. It's a discard enabler. It's an Asmo enabler. It's an engine. Let's just not do that. How about that? Ooh, DRC and Consider, or dash Ragavan and see what happens. I could also just hold up Counterspell and wait a turn. Oh, my island's coming in. If I dash Ragavan, I can play kind of like hanging out on the Counterspell. All right, I'm going to pass the turn with Counterspell up. And if they don't do anything, I'll Consider. And next turn, I can play Ragavan or DRC with Counterspell up if they just don't do anything. There's Asmo. I am going to counter her because she tutors up Cookbook. That's card advantage. It's an engine. Not really interested. Oh, yeah, another one. Sure. Okay, time to find one of those Lightning Bolts in my deck. Maybe. It might be possible. Tormod's Crypt. All right, sure. Lightning Bolt. Okay, I'm going to Fetch Shock, Lightning Bolt the Asmo, and then dash Ragavan. With the Tormod's Crypt in play, I'm not highly incentivized to Shred for Delirium with the Consider and the DRC, which is what I would have done without the Crypt in play. I'm not going to play Cookbook. A treasure is more important to me than the ability to discard cards and make food with no other text on the card. There is literally other text on the card, but none that's relevant for my deck. I could Consider off this treasure in the end step. Let me see what they do here, and I can make a decision. Okay, they're just passing here. I don't need to do that now. If they want to stop Murktide, they have to crit me now, which unlocks the DRC Consider, start going nuts half of the deck. They did not respect the Murktide. May or may not matter. I'm going to start with a Ragavan. They could put a Root Walla into play here and block if they have Blazing Root Walla. Ragavan took Goblin Lore. Am I in the Goblin Lore business? Draw 4, discard 3 at random. If they didn't have Crypt in play, I would definitely be in the Goblin Lore business. But I don't know that I am right now. Okay, I'm going to fetch, play Channeler, and I'm going to Consider now. If I find a Murktide, I can slam it in. Put DRC in the graveyard. Yes, yes. Ledger Shredder. Okay, I'll just deploy Ledger Shredder here. Here are the cards that I have. That was the wrong 2-drop blue creature. Really wish I could have punished this lazy Tormod's Crypt over here. They made a Vengevine, or discarded a Vengevine. They haven't made Vengevine yet. If they cast 2 spells to put Vengevine into play, that by definition also triggers Ledger Shredder, and I have at least Ragavan I can connive and put a +1 counter on Shredder. Ooh, cycling Hollow One. This is not going how they want it to. As Moran. There is one more Cookbook in their deck if they play the full 4. Ooh, didn't tutor. So they either only have 3 of this card in their deck, or it's already in their hand. Cookbooks, making food. Okay, so this can beat up my Ledger Shredder right now, which is actually really good. Yeah, we might just sort of get pinned under this Asmaran if I don't draw a good out to it immediately. Okay, they're still waiting on all their effects. I hope I draw an instant of some variety. Ugh, sucks. Okay, I'm gonna attack with Ledger Shredder. I'm gonna hold on to Ragavan because if I can't answer this 3/3, it's not helping me anyway. and having 2 spells at some point, getting some connive value. I'm not playing my land. That's a good thing to connive away. Burning Inquiry. All right, let's get weird. Otawara in my hand. That's not bad. That clears the Asmo if I need to. They discarded a hollow one. There is some justice in the world. 1 card in their hand. If it's a creature, they can get Vengevine. If they play a spell here without moving Shredder, I get to connive probably this Misty Rainforest away. I lost a Subtlety to the Inquiry. Unfortunate. That's a fun card. Okay, they are fooding up my Shredder. It's gone. And Asmo is attacking. Obviously not gonna tangle with that. Hollow one. Okay. I'm gonna Otawara one of these creatures. I suspect it's Hollow one. I mean, they could just cycle it and be back in business. I'm gonna bounce Hollow one. That's the harder one to get back into play. Like, they have Cookbook here. It's also the harder one to kill. Like, I can Lightning Bolt Asmo, which I can't do to Hollow one. Alright, they finally decided it's time to crypt me. Let's get to work. How about some spells, some velocity? Okay. That is a spell and velocity. Channeler. Do I bin the Consider, or do I keep the Consider? I guess it is the definition of velocity. I'll keep it on top. I take the Consider. Spiral of Canal goes to the bottom of my deck. Consider. Bin this Flooded Strand. Put Counterspell into your graveyard. And Counterspell... no, I am going to keep that. It's not exactly sexy, but if they want to make a food out of Hollow one, that's actually like a pretty bad use of Hollow one way or the other. And I'm still holding on to this land. It's not helping me with Delirium, and Ledger Shredder's in my deck somewhere. Burning Inquiry's also in their deck. Cycling another Hollow one. Okay. And they went a turn cycle without making food off Underworld Cookbook. So like their hand's at a point where their resources don't really support just chucking cards away to make food and kill a creature every other turn. Great deck. How about a good card? That's a good card. I'll play Channeler. Now I get double Surveil off Counterspell when I cast it. I am actually going to play this land. I think I may have been in like a little bit of a legacy headspace. That is not super helpful in this type of match, in this game. Like, the cantrips and the surveils in the deck. Do I want to counter Flame Blade at it? I kind of do. Alright, I'm going to fetch in response. Put Steam Vents into play tapped. This creature has Menace. It hits pretty hard. If I get Delirium right now, then I can tangle with Vengevine or Asmoran in combat. Bin Polluted Delta. Bin Mishra's Bauble. There we go. There's Delirium. Counter your spell. They can't make a food to kill my Channeler and trigger Vengevine unless their last card in hand is Rootwalla. Burning Inquiry. Okay. Both from Hellbent. Oh, they spiked a Rootwalla. Bomber. But they don't get a food. Yeah, that was just the mill both players for 3, but also trigger Vengevine, which is pretty good. And my channelers have to attack, which if they just don't move this turn, then I have to attack 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm dead if they just don't attack. I will trade off if I can. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think a little patience would have gone a long way there. Okay, Murktide Region off the top, baby. Or Expressive Iteration. Ledger Shredder. I'll take it because I have to. And have to attack as well. There it goes. Shredder trades with Blazing Rootwalla at least. My opponent can discard whatever they draw, make a food, and just attack for 6. This is also pretty good. Yep. Alright, looks like they're on the food plan. And by doing this, they put me dead even if I draw a removal spell. Like, I have to EI into a creature and a removal spell, or 2 removal spells. Yep, I'm at 3. Expressive Iteration, let's go. Murktide Regent works, though. Okay. Deal. Deal, deal, deal. I just have to Murktide before combat, so I have my blocker back. Murktide Regent. Make sure that I lose Delirium Eat instant, instant, sorcery, sorcery, and I want to leave Bauble. Like, if I... Yeah, this is the biggest Murktide while also losing Delirium I can come up with. I can't attack because I'm dead to both of the creatures. They can't kill my DRC with Asmo because they only have one food. Alright, Lightning Bolt wins it. Or regaining Delirium wins it. I left 3 card types in my graveyard. Any spell gets me into the air. Oh, yes. Okay. So I'm going to Unholy Heat. Oh, wait. They can make a food and eat it. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So Unholy Heat won't be Delirious for sure. So 10, 11. Yeah, I could still lose this game if I'm not careful. They make 2 foods. Damn, this is tight. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I don't know that I can afford to make my move here. If I attack with Channeler, also, what does that do? Nothing, because I can just do that up front. But what I can do is Unholy Heat, Blazing Rootwalla, attack with Channeler, put damage on. Murktide Regent's too big for Asmo to kill it. Okay. I'm going to heat the Rootwalla. Put Counterspell into the graveyard. That's not really what I'm looking for here. That would have given me Delirium, and obviously I would rather remove Asmo. Yeah, the food just gaining life here, incidentally. Super annoying. 1 spell short of lethal on that Murktide Regent last turn. I didn't leave anything behind. Okay. I need them to not trigger Vengevine this turn. And if they attack with Asmo, make a food, Murktide deals 6 to itself, and then they trade, there is a forced block here. But then their foods and their board are both gone. It looks like that is the play they have. A block. And here comes the food, discarding Neonate. They're going to spend their whole shit taking out Murktide Regent. They're going to be a 2 versus a Delirious DRC. Okay. I'm ahead, but this could break the wrong way for sure. Oh, we did it. All right, or we could just draw Lightning Bolt. And right now, while they are hellbent, I'm going to finish it off. That was an exciting game. That really came down to a tricksy little attack. The obvious knee-jerk, like, oh, kill their thing, attack for 10, would have lost the game. Like, you really got to think about what Cookbook can do, and the fact they're at 1, and I'm dead on the backswing. Good shit. All right, Engineered Explosives. I'm going to reconsider this now that I have more time to think about it. Like, Asmo is a 0, and they have a lot of 1s with the Neonates, the Cookbook itself. Okay, I'm going to go thinner on a Ragavan, and I think the Spell Pierce was actually great. And Spell Pierce over Flusterstorm hitting Cookbook, where Flusterstorm doesn't hit Cookbook. We actually did Spell Pierce a Cookbook that game, and I think it was pretty impactful. Yeah, like, I still think Ragavan is the best cut here. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, I get a card, but it's that card. All right, let's do this. The Cursed No Lander. This is a mulligan. 1 lander's fine. Keep this, and I think I want to send the Spell Pierce. And I was just talking about how I think this card is actually good in the matchup. So turn 2, maybe not. Maybe I just send Bauble, but Bauble is a redraw for another land. All right, it's Spell Pierce. Sorry, Spell Pierce. I could see a world where, like, I Spell Pierce a turn 2 Goblin Lore, and then their whole thing collapses, but I can also see a world where I bottom Ledger Shredder, and this Dragon Rage Channeler does not interact in any good way. They even passed the turn with 1 mana. That sucks. That would have been the perfect opportunity to get them with the Spell Pierce. Okay, they're fetching in response to my Channeler. Channeler gets to channel. I'm going to put Consider in the graveyard, just start moving forward. And I am going to... There's the Goblin Lore. Could have Spell Pierced it. Yeah, I mean, like, when you draw the land and whatever, it's easy to hindsight that, but it's fine. I have a handful of red removal this game, which is not something that's occurred yet. Neonate can set up Vengevine this turn if they have that. Yep, there's a Vengevine, so any creature here gets the 4/3 into play, which I am prepared for this game. And 1 mana hollow one gets you Vengevine. Okay. Okie dokie, artichokes. It's a pretty good turn too. That Spell Pierce would not have disrupted, so I'm glad I took the line I did. Vengevine, clapping in. Ledger Shredder. Okay. If I cast this Lightning Bolt and end up with Delirium, then I can also Unholy Heat. I need to see a creature or sorcery hit the graveyard because I have the land already. I could also just do this all at instant speed to try to play around Recursive Vengevine. So that is weak to Tormod's Crypt, but I guess I could just respond to that. All right, I'm just going to pass the turn here. The problem with main phase Lightning Bolt is if I end up with Delirium, then I lose my blocker. Also, if they just cast 2 creatures in their main phase again, Vengevine is gone. Or Vengevine is back. Whatever the thing I don't want to happen. Okay, I'm going to take a bold swing here and fetch Shock before I even know what's going to happen. Because if the Surveil pays out something I want, then I don't want to have to shuffle it away. Okay, we got Delirium. That into the graveyard. Kill Vengevine. Unholy Heat. Kills Hollow One. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Get in the car. Get in, loser. We're eating Vengevines. Book. Okay. Do you have the Asmo? Goblin Lore is one-sided, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to attack first. Get that out of the way. I have to do it, so might as well do it. Unlicensed Hearse. Even get a Surveil because it's not a creature. I don't think I'm in the counterspell business. I would like to hit land drops. If I could go like Ledger Shredder plus Ragavan and get a Connive next turn, that's a pretty good use of my time. I don't need to activate Hearse right away because Vengevine will trigger if it's going to come out, and I can respond to the trigger. We saw Ingot Chewer last game, so they do have answers to Hearse. There's a Neonate. And the way Vengevine works is it doesn't... like, your second creature is your second creature, period. They could get me with a Rootwalla here. I'm just not in a hurry to tap my Hearse. Yeah, now Rootwalla doesn't blow me out. Oh, baby. Okay, I'm going to attack. In we go. And play another one of these. I don't really know if I need the second one or if getting Ledger Shredder into play would be the better line here, but this seems pretty great. And the second one on the stack forces action. Like, if they are sandbagging double Rootwalla with Neonate plus Underworld Cookbook, now they have to make their move, and then I can use the first one in response. And if the second one resolves, then it doesn't matter because I can respond to all their action. I might be being too careful here, and if I just exile their graveyard, we're laughing all the way to the bank. But also, why get Vengevine if you can avoid it? I don't really have a good answer to it at this point. Oh, look at this. They had a Blazing Rootwalla. What a surprise. They would have had Vengevine last turn if I did not do this the way that I did. Oh, they had 2? What a surprise. Okay, I'm going to let Vengevine trigger here and then exile it in response. Exile Vengevine and I guess Hollow One. And the Cookbook can pick creatures back up from the graveyard. And Hollow One's a good one to rebuy. And this is still 6 damage suddenly on their board that wasn't there a second ago, which I'm not excited about. Spell Pierce, no thanks. And second piece of Graveyard Hate. All right, now the graveyard is under control and I have to beat the board, which I'm currently not exactly in a great position to do. Yeah, they actually had my Hearse just beat straight up with the double Rootwalla. It's really lucky I drew the second one. Ingot Chewer is chewing up my tapped Hearse. Okay. Sure. Not even gonna respond. I guess having a 4/4 creature is worth something. Rootwalla gets bigger. Rootwalla gets bigger. I might have to take myself off Delirium if I don't find a land. Just to block. I'm gonna exile Street Wraith and Neonate. Oh, okay. That'll do. do I want to attack? Vengevine. I don't need to worry about Vengevine. I could leave the 1/1 blocker back and just like squat up with this giant Murktide Regent. Yeah, I think being careful is the way to go. I don't really know what their deck's capable of. And this is a full-size Murktide, just 8/8 creature all the way in there. And I still have 3 card types if I can get Delirium next turn. I mean, now we're in that like food versus damage race situation we saw last game. They just turned Goblin Lore into food. So they're either trying to build up a buffer in the damage race, or they're trying to spike an Azmoran off the top. Or they have an Azmoran. Okay. It looks like they have one already, and they are baiting me into blocking with my Murktide, which is fine. I'm still going to do it. Yep, fair enough. Last card in hand is Asmo. Sure. Maybe I can find that land and get this Shredder plus Ragavan going. It would be so sick if there were spells in my graveyard. I could hearse and exile spells from my own graveyard and save the Murktide, but I don't have those things, so Murktide's gone. In the end step, exile the Rootwallas, I suppose. Or Rootwalla and Ingot Chewer. How about an untapped land? Yeah! Okay, I'm going to play Otawara. I'm going to play Ledger Shredder and Ragavan. Gives me 2 things to do, 2 ways to crew this car. I'm going to discard the island, and we're going to pass. Asmo can't attack because I can block with the car. She can slowly try to control these creatures over the next multiple turns. Okay, no attacks. Exile 2 cards from a graveyard, Rootwalla and Neonate, just going after creatures first. I am under 5 minutes on my clock, so I'm going to have to figure this out. That's a good start to figuring it out, though. Rest of iteration. Exile. I think I want Murktide Regent in my hand. Invents on the bottom, exile Consider. And I can cast Consider, which will give me a Connive. Don't need Spirebluff Canal. Put that in my graveyard. Not a counterspell. And I'm going to attack for 1. Wait. Oh, Wonder? Oh, okay. That was scary. I'm going to exile Wonder and Goblin Lore. I was like, wait, how'd this thing get flying? Yeah, just discarded a Wonder. That does tap my car for a turn, but I know their hand is Underworld Cookbook. So, like, they'd have to do some, like, crazy Burning Inquiry bullshit in order to come up with 4 damage here. They used their food to kill Ragavan. Ragavan wasn't going to block anyway, and the car was already tapped. They can put me to 4, which is a dangerous life total against a Vengevine deck. Okay, the basic land backs up Murktide Regent with Counterspell. That's pretty bonkers. Okay, playing Murktide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Car is not lethal yet. I'm just going to hold up Counterspell and attack for 1. They can make 2 foods, but I can crew the car. Started a land, that's fine. I hope there's a basic land left in my deck. I think there is. Yeah, the deck plays 2. 1's in the graveyard. Ox of Agonis, that's annoying. Escape on that's like 1 million, right? 8, yeah, that's not going to happen. Right, so I'm going to crew the car with Murktide before it dies. Have this big creature in play. And in the end step, I'm going to fetch a Steam Vents since they gave me the opportunity to do that. Exile Ox of Agonis and some other random card. Car is lethal now. Ledger Shredder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, okay. Brew 2. Just rip in here. They can't make a food right now. I have Counterspell to back this up. I love how Moto shows them blocking the middle of my generic exile zone there. Okay, dead on board. I'm holding up Counterspell. If they can somehow make Vengevine happen here, I Counterspell that. Because the car is like already really good. I haven't seen a Lightning Bolt. If they got me and Bolt here, then sure. But with 2 minutes on my clock, I feel like I need my 10-10. I don't think I counter and got Chewer in paper, or if I have more time on my clock. Though it is close. I guess the question is, what am I worried about? Like a lightning bolt I haven't seen in 3 games, a single copy of. Vengevine they can't make happen with 1 card in hand. Yeah, all right, cool. We won the match. Nobody wasted any time on the clock here. 2 minutes on my clock, 3 minutes on theirs. This was an insane match. On to the next one. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I am on the play for round 2. I got a bunch of selection here with Murktide Region and Express Federation. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to bobble my opponent first and try to get some information about what they're doing before I cast my sleight of hand. Because if I like put counterspell in my hand and then they're on like hammer or something that's going to deploy around or through counterspell or under counterspell, I'll regret it. If I put Unholy Heat in my hand and they're blue-white control, you regret those too. So just try to get this information. A Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. So likely some kind of mirror match. And I do think Sleight of Hand is better than Mishra's Bauble right now. I'm going to fetch Shock. Red's going to matter in the matchup. Sleight of Hand. Lightning Bolt and Raggy. I have to choose. Do I want to answer their Dragon's Rage Channeler or challenge with my own Rag? And I think this Murktide region at the top end is where I want to be. I'm actually going to hold back this Bauble in case I draw Ledger Shredder or Dragon's Rage Channeler next turn. Spell Pierce, that feels big. There's the Channeler. Firebluff Canal, okay. I think I want to Bauble myself now. I gave myself 1 draw step to... So my hand is full of gas. I think getting the information about their hand is worth more than the build your own Scry off Scalding Tarn here. Like I have Iteration and all this other shit. And Murktide coming down soon. I'm just gonna push forward. They have Iteration on top. Okay. Firebluff Canal. Lightning Bolt. Just clear this thing before it does any card selection. And chilling on the Spell Pierce is kind of cool. That means if they hold up Counterspell this turn, I can still push my Murktide through. Draw for turn. Lightning Bolt. Okay. I'm going to play Scalding Tarn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to fetch first. I'd rather leave an artifact in my graveyard for Delirium considerations than a land. Lands are easy to get in the graveyard. And I just think this Murktide is worth going for right now. The big Murko. It's out of Lightning Bolt range. I can protect from Counterspell, and they got some work to do if they want to Unholy Heat it. I hope they double bolt in the end step. Oh, that'd be sick. Just 2 for 1 off the Spell Pierce. They're fetching. Didn't shock. Okay, they're not about to double bolt. I will Spell Pierce this Expressive Iteration so quickly. Yeah, I have a big threat in play. Cut your development out from under you. I have an EI to follow up with. Let's start pushing. They didn't miss the land drop. Oh, cool. I was going to say, now I have to think about playing around Spell Pierce, but drawing my own Spell Pierce. No, I don't. I'll just pierce your Pierce. Okay. I'm going to put Lightning Bolt in my hand. Steam Vents on the bottom. Exile Consider. Shock in Steam Vents. Play Consider. Ledger Shredder. That card actually looks pretty great. I'm going to put that in my hand. It's a follow-up threat if they come up with Unholy Heat this turn. And let's start bashing. Even up these life totals. Taking a lot from my own lands. They're fetching in the end step. For a tap Steam Vents. You got it. Oh, they never learn. Spell Pierce that one as well. Sick. They still don't have Delirium. Murktide's still a 5/5. They can play their own Murktide as also a 5/5 here. Alright, and that takes them thousands of years away from Delirium. I don't have to think about Unholy Heat for a while. I can just double bolt this thing if I don't draw another Murktide. I could Ledger Shredder bolt, and get a Connive, get on board, get things moving forward. Yeah, I like that. Ledger Shredder, Lightning Bolt, your Murktide. I would have preferred a second Murktide, obviously. Ooh, Unholy Heat. That's a good follow-up. I'm going to discard the Channeler. And I'm going to bolt the Murktide again. I'll save the Unholy Heat for the next big thing. If there's another big thing, like the Heat can't go face, but I am Delirious. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they fetch land, they could play another Murktide this turn. Or like consider, like cantrips are free on the way to Murktide. So if they just like consider Murktide, that would work. That was a huge showcase of Spell Pierce, just beating up on their development, get slightly ahead. The Murktide got to push through, and then the Spell Pierce let me push through, and then it kept me ahead after that point. That was awesome. Okay, I like Hearse. Controlling the graveyard matters in this matchup. Dress down does not matter in this matchup. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I just think Bauble is completely trimmable. In the velocity, the delirium, all that matters, but like I'm gonna leave some in. I'm not gonna cut them, but it's not that great. Fury looks better than Subtlety here. Spell Pierce falls off in the late game, but it hits Hearse where Flusterstorm doesn't. But Flusterstorm on Expressive Iteration, Lightning Bolt, etc. is going to be better than Spell Pierce almost, like basically all of the time. Okay, I am going to switch my Spell Pierces for Flusterstorms. Just that late game staying power, winning a counter war makes sense to me. Mystical Dispute also helps with that, but I don't want to be too reactive. I do want to be able to just kill my opponent. On the draw, I think I want to turn Ragavan into the Subtlety that I want, or Mystical Dispute. I think Subtlety. Like, Rag's great, and I'm not going to go too low on it, and I'll have all 4 in when I'm on the play. But between Ledger Shredder, DRC, the 8 bolts, I have concerns. Okay, I'm going to stop there at risk of over sideboarding. Like, Subtlety's cool, but every other card in my deck is currently doing an important thing already. So let's just keep the Subtlety to 1. I can keep this hand on the draw, just removal central, working our way up to Expressive Iteration. They had Steam Vents on the shock go. That's fine. Now that I drew this Ledger Shredder, I'm not going to bobble. Just cash that in right away. Cash me outside. Kept their card with Consider. Ledger Shredder. Okay. If they have Bobble, I'm going to bolt in response to the Connive trigger. Okay. We had a similar plan here. Get rid of that. You get to Connive. And now I get to Connive out of bolt range, and bolt answered their thing. That was pretty cool. Yeah, this like play pattern might just be better served on the draw for that reason. I don't know. Maybe I just got lucky and it lined up this way. But knowing that I get to shred and connive and make my creature 4/4 or X4 is pretty exciting. That does mean I have to discard a spell though. Let's see if there's a spell I'm happy to discard when we get there. Murktide Regent. There you are. Ledger Shredder. They know it's coming because they've seen it before. Maybe I'll discard the Murktide actually. Like, it's pretty far away from useful. But I mean, conniving helps that. We'll see what I draw here. Counter spell. Discard counter spell or Murktide Regent here is kind of an interesting call. I'm actually just going to dump the Murktide. If they have graveyard hate at all, plus they know Murktide's coming, this removes the thing that they knew, so they don't have that information anymore either. Also gets me closer to Delirium, which counterspell does not. I'm just a fetch land away from Delirium now. Lightning Bolt. Alright, I've done a good job drawing red cards and getting into this mid-game. My opponent is Delirious. Unlicensed Hearse. Okay, glad I discarded the Murktide. That's kind of what I was playing towards. I will not have Delirium ever at this point. I think this is an iteration turn. It's got to be. Like, you spell Pierce, you spell Pierce. Or I could hold up. I could just hold up Counterspell. Alright. I'm going to iterate. Let's party. I would like to hit this land and move forward. If they get me with my own counter or spell pierce technology here. Or Mystical Dispute. Okay. They've learned. The machines are learning. Alright, you got me. I cannot pay 2 for this spell pierce. Ledger Shredder, carry the game. I need you, buddy. I'm not going to do something crazy like Evoke Fury just to trigger a connive. Fire Bluff Canal was the exile. Exiling my graveyard, sure, you got it. Okay, pretty happy to find a land. I'm gonna shock it in. Now I can counterspell and lightning bolt to answer various things they may present. Also trigger connive. Conniving away Unholy Heat seems reasonable in this position, because I'm not going to be able to use it. I'm holding out hope for this Fury. I think that card actually kind of slaps. I don't think this is the pressure point for me, because they could counterspell back, get value, or if they follow up with anything, I can counterspell that. And I'm currently pushing damage on this board better than they are. The Hearse can turn the corner quickly once it's a 6/6 or 8/8. Make quick work with me. But a creature needs to be in play to crew it on their turn. Aggressive iteration. All right, so I get to connive. They EI'd into EI. Let's see what this connive does for me. Fire Bluff Canal is cool, but like the Unholy Heats look bad. Yeah, I'm gonna discard Heat. I want Ledger Shredder to grow. And they can iteration again. I'm not gonna counterspell this. Like land Unholy Heat is the scary thing they could come up with here. And I've saved my counterspell for that. Counterspell your Unholy Heat. And they are tapped out on their own turn here. I'm also going to bolt in the end step, which gets me another connive and puts damage on them. All right, so bolt you, go to 7. We get to connive again, discard Unholy Heat probably. We're at 7. Lightning Bolt is lethal. I will consider looking for Lightning Bolt. I don't think I want to fetch first. Ledger Shredder. No, put that directly here on the stack. This connives the first Ledger Shredder. Channeler. Ooh. I could put them to 2, or I could put another creature into play. I think putting another creature into play is where I want to be here. I'm going to discard Spire Bluff Canal. Back for 4. Discarding the Canal gives up on Hardcast Fury next turn, like the guaranteed version of it. And I'm going to Dragon's Rage Channeler here. Have to shock it in, there's no mountain. Okay, here we are. If they cantrip into Unholy Heat, I can connive and make Ledger Shredder X7, which is bigger than Unholy Heat can kill it. Okay, there we go. There's Bauble, that's a spell. Unholy Heat cannot remove my big Ledger Shredder this turn. They could just like slam 2 Murktide Regents here and back it all up with Unlicensed Hearse. That's pretty scary. All right, EI, I get 2 connives. I think I want to connive with the little one first. Discard this Subtlety and discard this. I'm going to discard Fury. Like, consider shredding for Lightning Bolt and giving me looks at Delirium. I think that's better than the 5-mana spell I can't even necessarily cast. Yeah, I hit Scalding Tarn. Probably not what they're looking for. Unless they double Murktide. Got a lot of looks at Lightning Bolt here coming into my turn. There's the first Murktide. It exiled the maximum number of spells, which is not how you would sequence this if you had a second Murktide. Oh, plus fetch plus tap puts you to 1. Like, double Murktide doesn't even save you here because Dragon's Rage Channeler is good for 1 even without Delirium. Yeah, that's a painful mana base they got there. You get to draw for your Bauble. You draw for turn. It's the Unholy Heat. Cool. That at least gets me a connive. I'm going to start with Consider. Just looking for Lightning Bolt. We found it. All right, put on top of the deck. And do not put that in my graveyard. Don't you dare. I am missing Sorcery, Artifact, Enchantment. This attack is currently good. The attack's currently lethal. Like, they have to do something, and once they do something, I can bolt. I'm just going to attack with all my creatures. Like, they're dead on board. They have to take a game action. Any game action they take will cost them life points because of Fiery Eyelid and Scalding Tarn. Subtlety. That doesn't do what you think. Choose up to 1 target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Yeah, Subtlety does not affect onboard objects. Like, unless there's some flicker here that I don't know about. Yeah, that's not what that does. How sick would Subtlety be if it could actually just bounce things? Oh, it crews. That's what it does. I see what's going on here. Okay, no, they probably did know what they were doing. I'll give you credit for that one. Okay, so crew 2. That does not block flying. So I have a couple ways through this one. If I Unholy Heat the Hearse now and spike on Delirium, I get 1 Surveil here, because if they have to tap it to a Surveil and the 2 Connives, that's a lot of action. Okay, I'm gonna put Surveil on the bottom. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. The big one is Conniving first. Discard DRC. Ledger Shredder, discard Otawara. Channeler. Dump the Channeler. I put that into the graveyard. And I'm going to Lightning Bolt again in response. Just go face. See if they have the counterspell or what. The counterspell would cost 2 life here. They'd have to force a negation. And if force a negation hits, then I still have to miss on Delirium. Alright, you're at 1. And my Shredder's Connive again. Alright. We're just milling 3 cards here. Guaranteed. Yeah, you're at 1, dead to DRC. If I get Delirium, you don't even have a blocker. Oh, that was sick. That was some freaking fireworks. Feels good, man. Beating mirrors like this just always feels good because there's so many micro decisions, and I apologize to my opponent for missing the crew. They do know what they were talking about. But there's a lot of micro decisions where, like, when you run away, like, I think I won both of those games pretty cleanly, and that usually doesn't mean you just got luckier in a deck with so many decisions. On to the next one. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I am on the play in round 3. What round is it? I've lost track. I have a turn 1 Ragavan with some card selection and Lightning Bolt and Counterspell to punch Ragavan through. Let's do this thing. I'm still going to bobble first. Not that any kind of information would change my starting play here. Oh, Searing Blaze. Yikes. Okay. Ragavan, get in. Oh, let's hope their start is Suspend Riftbolt or something instead of Lightning Bolt. And like even Goblin God I'm ready for. I can counterspell the Searing Blaze if they just don't do something I care about here. Lightning Bolt, you got it. Okay. Well, Dashing Ragavan gets it by the Searing Blaze for a turn. I'm going to fetch my basic island to conserve life total. Dash the backup Rag. With Lightning Bolt for Eidolon, I don't think I need to hold up Counterspell this turn. Ragavan connects and took Riftbolt. Okay. Can't do anything with that. Just getting the extra mana here is really nice. Now they're holding up Searing Blaze. Like, I'm just going to run my Ragavan into it. Oh, I might. Okay, it's iteration time. Gotta hit some land drops, move this game forward. I failed to do that. Bummer. Okay. Spell Pierce in my hand. Ragavan on the bottom. Exile Consider. And then I can consider trying to hit my land this turn. I think doing this is worth it. Like, the velocity here. Move this game forward. Forest Charm's fine. Unholy Heat in the graveyard. And did not find the land. Yuck. Alright. 15 cards into my deck, missing a land is tough. This game it started off really well and has kind of fallen apart. I hope they play weird around the Ragavan and give me a giant Spell Pierce here. That would be great. Okay. I'm going to cast Ragavan face up like this in non-dash mode. Missed the land again. Hopefully Spell Piercing a Searing Blaze in the end step here. Oh, Skullcrack, sure. I'm not going to fight over that when Ragavan is kind of important in my plan right now. Oh, is Searing Blaze not an instant? Oh, no, it is. They just are trying to find the land drop to push the damage. That makes sense. I was pretty sure this card was an instant, but the MPR version, hard to know. And the fact they didn't play a land first means they don't have one, so this is a huge Spell Pierce. Hey Justin, these Spell Pierces in your deck fucking rule. Good choice. Exiled a Goblin Guide. Is that a card I want in play? Probably not. I could iterate again here, or I could just slam Murktide. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 12. Do I want to get this game over? Do I want to move my game forward? I could just hold up Counterspell against this awkward thing they've presented me here. I think I want to iterate. Maybe that's wrong, but there's lands in my deck somewhere, right? Okay. I'm going to put Bauble in my hand, Lightning Bolt on the bottom, exile the polluted Delta, play the Delta, play the Bauble. I'd like to know what you're drawing this turn, please. It's a mountain, all right? That may unlock some options for you. If I fetch and play Murktide right now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the full 8/8. I think kind of like treading water here with counter spells and poking with Ragavan and removal is a fine plan for now, with them low on resources and low on, 4 cards in hand. There's no Fire Blast in this format. Exiled a Rift Bolt. Okay. It was smart not playing a spell, but I'm just gonna... Oh, that Spell Pierce rules. Alright, Ragavan. Flip a Lightning Helix, please. Show them the Shadow Realm. Another Goblin Guide. Okay. I don't need that. What I will do is cast Murktide Regent now that I have Counterspell and Spell Pierce backup to support it. Get in there, big Murko. Murko, Polo. Just leaving all these Goblin Guides in exile. Not interested. I think I'll Spell Pierce basically anything in the end step. Because once they untap, if they hit a land drop, it's possible Spell Pierce won't find a target. Yeah, I'm just gonna save myself 3 life here. Use a treasure to do it, because if they don't make me crack my fetch land, I'm just not gonna. There is another basic, so that's live. 2 cards in hand, plus draw step, plus Rift Bolt here. I'm at 12. Spells on average deal 3. So if their hand has to be Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, or like Lava Spike, some 1 mana variant of that for me to be in big trouble here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They are at 1 on board. Creatures don't help. Boros Charm. Okay. I'm going to counterspell that one. That one is good for more than the average number of damage. And with the fetch, that might matter. So Ragavan connects plus my 3 mana next turn. That is 2 counterspells available to me versus their 2 cards in hand. And I'm at 5, so Exquisite Firecraft isn't lethal. If that's even a card that this deck plays, I don't know. And any burn spell off the top actually kills them in concert with my Lightning Bolt. You go to 4. I flipped Monastery Swiftspear. Disappointing. I guess I'm just passing the turn with 2 counterspells up here. Which, it's hard to be disappointed in that. That was pretty nice. That was a really tasty little Ragavan game, playing on low resources, making it happen. Blusterstorm comes in here. I might want Mystical Dispute just as cancel. Like, they don't have blue spells, but I'm going to have 3 mana eventually. I'm going to have to beat their board. I don't love Dress Down. Fury seems like overkill when I have 8 removal spells already and creatures that can tangle. I'm going to chill on Baubles. Those are pretty risky versus the Eidolon of the Great Rebel deck. I want some for the Selection and the Delirium, but beyond that, it's whatever. And Ragavan was really good there, but on the draw against this deck full of creatures and removal, I'm going to shave 1. Maybe I'm supposed to have Engineered Explosives in this deck. Maybe I'm supposed to have Subtlety. But I feel like I can play this game like this and just work my way up to a Murktide Regent and keep my life total respectable. Obviously can't keep his no-lander. We ship it. 1-lander, also not exciting, but I do have multiple answers to early creatures and EIs to dig in. I'm going to keep and send. I'm going to actually send one of the EIs. I think Ledger Shredder is going to do more for me here. I'm feeling much worse about this hand than I am about the game 1 hand. All right, off to a scary start here. Just Lava Spike you. Taste it. Spending 2 life here to get Consider. Yeah, I think I have to do this. I don't like it, but investing in my future, whether it's clear Eidolon immediately or consider to hit my land drop, answer a Goblin Guide or something. Okay, I can kill Eidolon next turn. I want to try to hit a land drop first. Steam Vents in my hand. There's that. Scalding Tarn. I can do that later. I'm going to Steam Vents now and put it into play tapped. And I'm going to heat this Eidolon. There's a world where, like, if I wait to heat and they have any haste creatures, they have to take 2 to play them pre-combat. But if I heat now, they can't Borrowstorm to save it. And they had the Borrowstorm. Sometimes I do things that make sense. But now I'm at 6 versus their 2 cards in hand. Finding some kind of counterspell would be great. But I'm just going to have to tap out and hope I'm alive. Ledger Shredder and DRC. I try to turn the corner here somehow. No room for Steam Vents in this life. Okay. 3 cards in hand. I'm at 5. Very likely to just die here. But if I don't, I got stuff to do. All right, drawing a card. I like that. I'm at 1. Cool. Let's figure this out. That's a counterspell. I like those. Consider. Spell Pierce. Keep that right where it is. And I'm going to attack with my creatures. Probably dead here. Like, if they double spell ever, I lose. Counterspell that. Oh, jeez. I'm going to get rid of that. They're clearly top decking, so they're just going to like cast 1 spell a turn if I even get another turn. All right. And I'm not going to get another turn. Found a counterspell. All right. Sure. Burn on the draw. You got me. I don't believe my sideboard changes anything here. Like, Blood Moon locks out all their white cards, but I don't think I need to cheese this matchup. Sometimes I have played decks before in Modern where Blood Moon to cut off many of their top end spells is worth doing because they don't have another good plan. But between the interaction and everything I got going on here, I like this. And I think I like Ragavan better than DRC on the play. Oh, this thing is still a legend. Okay. I'm just going to do this the same way. Let's go. I think the Surveil is worth more as we transition into like turns 3+ than whatever Ragavan does. Though game 1 we saw what Ragavan does. On the play, I'm keeping. I'm not going to send back a hand that does all this. Firebluff Canal and Channeler. Go. Let's see if they Lightning Bolt my thing, Lightning Bolt me. Do they have a Goblin Guide? First appearance. Right, suspend Riftbolt. Deal. Gives me time to figure stuff out. I don't believe I'm iterating. Consider can hit a threat or Spell Pierce, so I am going to consider. There are... I don't want that right now. I don't want that right now. Andrew Lightning Bolt. Firebluff Canal, get in there. Instant land. Yeah, I can't get Delirium even if I bolt, so I'm not going to push it here. I'll save that to answer stuff. Are you going to respect my channeler, or are we just going face? Face is the place. Okay. I am going to bolt in the end step, though. They have not deployed a creature yet, and they're not a deck that gets tricky with their creatures. I'm just going to go upstairs here, get the Delirium, or get the Surveil trigger. They get a chance to cast a spell, but right now when I'm at 17 and don't have interaction anyway, I'm not going to bluff something I don't have against a deck that can't really change that much about its play patterns. Helix the face. Okay, still not respecting my channeler, but EI in the graveyard. Have a bunch of those already. And then I'm going to EI again, or actually cast it this time. Murktide Regent. This is how I win the game, right? And I can get Delirium right now. Okay, I'm going to put this in the graveyard and put Unholy Heat in my hand. No, that's not true. Am I putting Unholy Heat in my hand? I have Bolt in my hand already. Do I just like unload threats here? Put Rag in my hand. Bottom Unholy Heat, exile DRC. Back for 3. Don't love shocking here, but I think I'm going to deal more damage to them. Like I took this aggressive line. I have Lightning Bolt and a dash threat in hand. I'm at 12. They have plenty of cards in hand to kill me with, but 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I can put them to 1 this turn. And if Ragavan connects and delivers a burn spell, they could just die. Okay, I'm at 8. Oh, bolting a DRC. We put the correct amount of pressure on them. They had to stop and respect it. Okay, I can EI looking for counters to try to back this up. I could just connect with Ragavan. Yeah, I think the Ragavan gas has to come off the pedal a little bit here. I'm going to EI. Unholy Heat in the graveyard. Iteration. 3 counter spells have appeared. I'm going to put Spell Pierce in my hand, Mystical Dispute on the bottom, and exile Consider. I'm going to fetch to 7, which might matter, because 4+4 is a lot harder to make their deck happen than 4+3. But I still want to cast my spells. EI, Graveyard. The game's not going to go long enough for that. Okay, I'll take the counter spell. Back for 3. Spell Pierce, hold me. Keep me safe. If I can untap into this counter spell, things are a little better. Oh, they could just like Boros Charm, playing around Spell Pierce twice. Oh, drawing a card. Softening out the Spell Pierce. Okay. If I dash Ragavan, the result is 3 mana, so that is the correct number for me to have. And it pushes the extra damage, and if I spike a burn spell, I might be able to win. Rag, get in there. Opponent's at 4. And we exiled Skewer the Critics. Don't mind if I do. Cast with Spectacle, Skewer you. Mystical Dispute into the graveyard. And I can Lightning Bolt with Spell Pierce up right now. LFG. Who's the burn deck now? That was fun. I love Ragavan. I'm glad it's banned in Legacy, but I'm glad a format exists where it's appropriate and fun, and oh, that was fun. Great match. We remain undefeated. On the draw in round 4, this is the sketchiest hand I've seen yet, but I'm going to keep it and hope that they're a deck with creatures that die to Lightning Bolt. We might be in luck. Ledger Shredder. I don't believe I can afford to save this bauble to trigger Ledger Shredder when I'm trying to hit a land drop here. Where's a Saga? Okay. That sucks. Ragavan. Alright, I have something to do with my mana, even if the rest of it doesn't come together. Welding Jar, fuck. The Ozolith, okay. Oh, none of those are, Alright, I am going to send a bolt towards the face. I'm going to need to race this opponent, and my hand is full of spells I'm not going to have time to cast. Okay, I can dash Rag in here, or I can play Ledger Shredder. What does dashing Rag do? It gets me an extra mana for next turn, and lets me keep up a Lightning Bolt for this turn. I think that's fine. Rag, get in there. Arcbound Ravager, okay. I can't make use of that, unfortunately. But now neither can they. Saga ticks up. These Saga tokens are 3/3s right now. If they have the land. Okay, they do have the land. Alright, Saga token arrives as 3/3. Lightning Bolt answers that. I'm going to play Shredder and just pass. And I get a connive when I bolt the token. I think we're at the end of the road for Ragavan, probably. There's a 3/3. Lightning Bolt that. Get a connive. They can regenerate it. That's cool. Second Shredder. Or I could just give up on Ragavan here. That's probably the line. Okay, this will be a 3/3, then a 4/4. And that spends their mana for the turn. Yeah, flushing out that Welding Jar I'm not too upset about. We could get like Springleaf Drum here and make mana. They got Zabaz, okay. Zabaz is destroy target artifact you control, can gain flying and as modular, okay. Bouncing Zabazas around, kind of rough. Yeah, I need a red source to start stabilizing this board at all. That's not it. Sleight of Hand might find it though. Sleight of Hand. Shit, okay. Guess I'll take this bauble. And Mishra's Bauble for the connive. Come on, red source. Shit. Alright, it's falling apart here. Discard Ledger Shredder. Maybe Spell Pierce is worse, but they both seem really bad right now. Inkmoth Nexus. I can Unholy Heat if I need to. I don't get to attack here, that's for sure. My Bauble draw finds Counterspell. Do they tap out into my mana here? Activating Inkmoth Nexus. Okay. Someone's making moves. Second Zabaz, that's tight. Smart. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Obliterates me, but it's cool. And this thing will be a 4/4. Oh, 5/5. Are there twos? Oh, Hardened Scales, right. I forgot Scales was in play. Of course. Yeah, this Zabaz can destroy itself to make Inkmoth too big. Yeah, this game is not particularly winnable here. I guess I will Unholy Heat this thing all the same. Make them lose their Zabaz over it. Oh wait, it's in response to the Ozolith trigger, so it still moves. God, this deck's so tricky. Okay, this thing has 6 damage on it. Then it's about to get a million more counters. Yeah, that doesn't even help. Okay, yeah, getting second Zabaz to Legend Rule and stack it all up, that was really sick. Awesome play that I was not prepared for. Okay, yeah, I can't beat this 12/12 infect creature. All right, awful. that was scary. Dress Down's going to be great here. Engineered Explosives is going to be great. Fury seems like something I'm interested in. I want the moons shutting off and obliterating the whatever their faces are. Sagas. Seems pretty good. I like Ragavan. I like Dragon's Rage Channeler. I like the bolts. The bolts get worse when I have Dress Down and Engineered Explosive to help, but I think they're still important to stay alive early. Going really hard on baubles here. Spell Pierce hitting an Ozolith or Scales on turn 1 is huge. I think I want to back off Counterspell a little bit, and maybe I will shave one Ragavan. And I gotta cut one more card here if I want all these things, and I think that I do. Yeah, I don't want to lose the bolts. Murktide Regent is the fastest way to win a game. I want my selection. There's not a lot left after I rule out all of those things. Oh, well, with Engineered Explosives and Dress Down in the deck, Bauble is less important to getting Delirium. Okay, I'm going to try it like this. Bauble free, the way to be. On the play with no threat, some interaction. I'm going to keep this. Maybe this is not how you beat this matchup. Maybe you really want the Spell Pierce early on, but I'm not going to mulligan for a 2 of Spell Pierce. Give me a break. I got selection and interaction here, and a big threat. There's the Scales. Consider. I will actually keep the Consider. Oh, there's Spell Pierce. Better late than never. I'm not unhappy to see this card. I'd be very happy to spike an Ozolith here. Oh, can't get that one. Their land was not Urza Saga. That's nice. I'll take that as a W for now. That one's annoying, but I guess it's fine. I'm going to consider in response and see what comes out of this. Ledger Shredder in the graveyard, yes. Unholy Heat. All right. I'm just going to hit this thing with Unholy Heat. If they want to spend their Welding Jar on it, that's fine. If they want to turn it into 2 Dinguses, that's also fine. But land gives me a big ol' Murktide Regent right now. Oh, I didn't even need the land, but I have it. Land gives me a big ol' Murktide Regent with interaction. Yeah, let's just try to Murk this. Can bolt or pierce as necessary. Walking Ballista, yeah, that happens. It's a 2/2. I think it's time to start spending lightning bolts. I can zap this Ballista now. I'm going to start working through their blockers. Pendlehaven doesn't save it. Ooh, using the... Okay, that's cool. Wasn't expecting that. I am not in any way proclaiming to be a Hardened Scales expert. Maybe that's exactly what it's for. I don't know. Okay, Unholy Heat in my hand. Land on the bottom, land in exile. Didn't really want to see 2 lands there. Kind of wanted to see 0 lands there. This is where I've ended up. I'm going to attack. I'm just trying to work through the Thopters before they kill me. Oh, wow. Thopters are not part of the plan, it seems. Terrifying. Or blocking is not part of their plan. They're just going to go off. I imagine Ravager is what that indicates. Roadside Reliquary. Cool. Draw a card if you control an artifact. Draw a card if you control an enchantment. That's sweet. So they get to draw 2 cards here. Fine. Sweet card. Doesn't really change anything that's going on. I'm trying to get this game over with my 6/6. I'm going to Spell Pierce the hell out of this Ozolith. No thank you. That card is not beatable in any game of Magic ever. Attacking with everything. Okay, I'm going to fetch Shock and Unholy Heat the Ballista. I want to save Lightning Bolt because I think going face could be a reasonable plan to end this game. Yeah, they just get to 2 me on the way through here. I have 6, 7, 8, 9 damage on board. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If I draw Murktide, I win. Weird Explosives. Yeah, that one's good too. Do I want to sandbag this or probably not? No, just put it into play. I'm not getting fancy here. I am going to hold back the island. Don't want them to know everything I've got going on over here. So you're at 8. Get you for 6. The blockers don't help. Don't think Saga helps. Starrings can't interact with that. The boss, that's fucking annoying. An actual good creature. Oh wait, it needs white to get flying. Yeah, this thing doesn't fly on its own. Right. I'm gonna take the 2. I'm not gonna let them turn around and put a blocker into play. The boss, okay. Oh wow, they tapped the... Or they don't know I have Lightning Bolt, that's what's going on. Okay, Ballista can resolve, because that also dies to Engineered Explosives. Okay. Blow this up. Didn't even sack the things. Take the counters off Ballista. I don't know if they realized that was a 0 drop. And we've got... It doesn't have flying. Okay, just checking. One more time. Attack you for 6. In case there's some trick I don't know about, I'm going to play Shredder and make sure I get my blocker and my Connive off this Lightning Bolt. And we did it. Okay, cool. If they don't have their engines running, they're just a crappy creature deck. And Spell Pierce breaking up the engine was pretty huge. This deck scares the hell out of me, though. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know how all their stuff interacts or what the latest technology is. I am submitting the same deck again for my opponent's approval. On the draw here with a Lightning Bolt, but no Spell Pierce, no second land, no guarantees of anything. I think I'm going to keep it, though. Like, I've got 2 DRCs in Sleight of Hand. This deck is built to play low resource games like that. Grove of the Burn Willows, Relic of Progenitus. That's fine. They're spending time putting like Relic of Progenitus into play instead of killing me. That is a deal. It does make me want to Sleight of Hand rather than DRC this turn, though. It does change my play pattern in that regard. I pop the land in my hand. Set up for Shredder next turn. There's a Saga way ahead of Blood Moon. That might be tough to get through. And Hangerback Walker, you got it. Spell Pierce, so I would love to hold that up, but I don't think it's the time or the place. I'm going to fetch an island, even though I want red available, because Blood Moon's in my deck somewhere. Zabaz with no scales, no Ozolith. The card is much worse in that environment. Land? Alright, we did it. Okay, so I'm going to shock in Steam Vents. I'm going to play Ledger Shredder. And I can Lightning Bolt Zabaz here and Connive twice. Don't really want them going super wide on a Hangerback Walker, but also whatever. Yeah, that would take some extra help to make happen. Yeah, I just want to collect my Connives while I can. Make these creatures bigger. I think we're past the point where Spell Pierce is going to help me win this game. And I think I want stats on my Ledger Shredders to the point where Dragon's Rage Channeler can shove off. So they put their stats onto Walker, which is fine. Annoying, but fine. I'm going to start pushing damage. I have to win this game. I can't just not lose this game. This is when you actually have to push forward and win. Their Saga pops this turn. They get to charge Hangerback Walker in the end step. I have Engineered Explosives in my deck somewhere. They are making the Construct this time. That's good. It means they don't have a better way to use their mana. Probably going to grab the Ozolith here, would be my guess. Yep. I would love to find a Blood Moon right about now. And I'm pretty far behind on board, so Blood Moon might not even do what I need it to. That Ledger Shredder, though, that just kept me out of getting cracked for 3. I think I should Expressive Iteration and just try to make these Shredders insane. Iteration, let's go. Ooh, there's Magus and Unholy Heat. So Magus in my hand, Island on the bottom, exile Unholy Heat. That'll just give me the Connives, even if it doesn't do anything else. And Relic is tapped. They could still do it in exile mode. Yeah, I think I want to Heat for the Connives. Just going to point it at the Construct. Conniving DRCs away for now. DRC. And maybe it's Murktide. Yeah, Murktide's worse than Channeler here. Then I'm going to fetch, and I'm going to also consider right now. Oh wait, the fetch is the 4th card type. Alright, so let's see if they pop Relic in response right now to save their Construct. They did not. Cool. I'm going to attack with all my creatures. I die on the spot to Arcbound Ravager, so I should leave one of these back. Alright, that was cool. We snuck through a little Delirium action. This card works how I think it does, right? Yeah, they had 1 mana. Could have done it. Focusing on charging up the Hangerback. Saga's on 2. Magus the Moon, if it comes down this turn, will deliver... wipe out the Saga, turn off Inkmoth Nexus, then I just have to beat this Hangerback Walker. And if I find a land in between, I can Murktide and then Magus. If they don't be proactive with this Relic. Right, still charging up. I'm going to consider try to aggressively hit a land here. Oh, no, never mind. I'm still going to consider. But, oh right, I discarded the Murktide anyway. What am I even talking about? Unlicensed Source, okay. You got it. That taps out the mana that would have made Saga make a Construct, so this thing is just nothing now. I am not going to put Lightning Bolt in my graveyard. That seems like the type of card I'm interested in. Little insurance policy. I have Blood and Magus, various moons all around. They're tapped out of green. They can't Beseiju me here. Is having a 2/2 on the ground better than not? Yeah, this is actually a tough choice. I'm going to connive away whichever one I don't play. I think I'd rather have the creature in this matchup. Magus the Moon get in there. Charging up right now while they still can. Then all their stuff goes away. I'm going to Lightning Bolt their face and connive twice. Now I need to worry about significantly less than I did a second ago. Blood Moon's an easy connive. I think with Hearse in play, I'm going to discard the Channeler. I just Hearsed my cards away, that's fine. Channeler's in the graveyard now. You're at 12. Attack you for 8. Alright, you're 4. Dead to either one of my Shredders. If they find Ravager, they could sack Hangerback Walker. Zabaz works here too, because the lands make red. I'm not in danger of being combo killed by Inkmoth Nexus as long as Magus is in play. Kinda regretting missing 3 damage last turn by not attacking with Shredder out of respect for Inkmoth, but if I had gotten comboed out, like, I don't know, maybe Ravager's just in their hand right now. I don't know their life. Oh, this is a lot of mana. Oh, Walker for 2. So you're dead? Yeah, without a sack outlet or something else to do here, just gonna take 5. That's fine. Okay, I have 2 creatures, each of which are lethal, backed by Counterspell. These don't have the ability to just randomly sacrifice. Hearsing me before combat. I don't know what that's about. Maybe just trying to get me to misclick. But anyway, here's 8 damage to your 4 life points. We did it! By my count, that's a 4-0, and we're about to play a trophy round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I am on the play in the final trophy round. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got selection, it's got Shredder, some interaction. Let's do the thing. Get the lead on Canal. Can heat if I need to, or consider if I need to. Okay, an Inspiring Vantage. Looks like we got Burn in the queue here. Give me that Goblin Guide. Feed it to me. Clever Lumamancer. Alright, this is the turbo nonsense deck with Niv Megas Elemental and Ground Rift and stuff. If I Lightning Bolt, they'll need 2 spells. I'm going to heat now and then Bolt on my turn. Alright, they just had nothing. Deal. Deal, deal, deal. I would like to put Ledger Shredder into play against the deck that's built to play many spells in a turn. Let's try that. We have all the tools to just obliterate this matchup. Just got to make sure we use them. Illuminator Virtuoso. When it comes to the target of a spell you control, it connives and it has double strike. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to play Dragon's Rage Channeler and Lightning Bolt. So I get a connive out of this. If they have mutagenic growth, they can save it. I'm going to discard this land, actually. I see a lot of hands with what I'm doing. All right. I'll keep this land. Oh, the Lumamancer, or the whatever this is gone. Okay. A hand of 3 cantrips, 2 creatures that like when I cast spells against an empty board based on creatures. I like that. Yeah, maybe I should have gotten rid of one of the considers off the Shredder, just to make sure it didn't die to Bolt. But I mean, we're here all the same. It's cool. I'm gonna fetch for my basic island up front, and because when I put a card on the bottom, I probably want it to stay there. This sorcery will give me Delirium, so I'll start there. Put that on top all the time. Grab this Unholy Heat. Much as I'd like the Ledger Shredder, I like not losing to my opponent more. It's this weird thing that I do when I play Magic, is I just try not to lose. Unholy Heat. I'm going to do this on my turn. If they fire off a bunch of like pump spells to save it, I don't want to also take that damage. Interacting with prowess creatures that's usually how you want to do it. Iteration. Wow, that card's cheating. It's a good reason to add blue to this creature deck. A Lumamancer, okay. We'll be considering in the end step, trying to keep this train rolling. Put that on top. And do not put it in the graveyard. Consider, okay, so I want to, my choices are, I could consider looking for a removal spell. I think I'm going to start with that, actually. If I can clear this Lumamancer and just wait on Murktide, I don't hate that. Put Channeler in the graveyard. Actually, no. That one can block for a turn cycle. I can attack with this one, and then play the other one, and I guess hope I don't get combo killed here. Yeah, that might be life or death. They have 3 cards left in their hand. I'm at 15. We'll see how this plays out. They would have to cast a lot of spells this turn. So, I mean, they just cleared my blocker with 3 spells still in hand. Like, Ground Rift, Temur Battle Rage does it here. I'm just going to represent this Unholy Heat, though. Okay, we took combat damage. That's a relief. Another Lumamancer. And I'm going to consider now. Bobble, get rid of it. Consider Expressive Iteration. Do I want to get rid of that? Oh, this is becoming distressing. All right, I'm going to take the EI. A lot of looks at burn spells. Okay, I'm going to EI. I'll put that in the graveyard. Oh no. Okay, Expressive Iteration in my hand, Spiral of Canal on the bottom. Exile Flooded Strand. I'm going to play Flooded Strand. Can I even take myself off Delirium if I try? My graveyard has many cards in it. And do I want to, is the follow-up question. There are not many sorceries in my deck, and one of them is in my hand. I can regain Delirium next turn if I need it. So if I just eat all my sorceries, this will do what I needed to. Breaths of Iteration and Sleight of Hand. And then Lightning Bolt, Unholy Heat, and Consider. Oh, what did oh, I had 5 card types. Nope. Not sure I could have done that in a way that makes any sense. But now they are dead on board and know that they have to do what they're going to do right now. One of us is dead here. I'm honestly pretty worried. Ugh, got away with it. Zoinks. All right, that was a little stressful. Fury's going to be huge here. Engineered Explosives huge. Mystical or Flusterstorm, I like. Mystical Dispute, probably not. Dress Down, interesting. That doesn't remove the prowess. Like if I end step Dress Down and pass into their turn, then their things don't have prowess for that turn cycle. That's kind of sweet. Fury could take, or Subtlety could take early pressure off. Okay, Baubles, not great. Again, reaching for Ragavans and Baubles, pretty standard procedure, it seems. Dress Down could blow out like Team or Battle Rage kind of stuff, but I think I'd rather just use removal and counter spells to stop that stuff from happening in the first place, rather than play it like this and like try to stop it once it's all happened. All right, with the explosives coming in, I can take Baubles out. I'm okay with that. All right, let's do it. This is probably a pretty good matchup, all things considered, to play a trophy round for. Our deck is full of cheap interaction, and they're trying to disconnect with a single creature after casting a bunch of spells. Engineered Explosives, rules, I'm going to keep and hope I don't get turn 2'd. Lumimancer, there it is. Okay, here we go. Lightning Bolt off the top. Channeler off the top. I think I just want to invest in this Engineered Explosives. If they turn to me, I've lost. But I don't think Dragon's Rage Channeler would have been the difference maker in that world. There's kind of a long pause here. Looks like they're doing math. So mutagenic growth, bolt me, ground rift is what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That would certainly kill me. Okay, here's a bolt. And a growth. F6. If I'm dead, I'm dead. And Flusterstorm your bolt. Okay, well, at least the bolt gets countered in this world. It's not as bad as Ground Rift, which would have just been the max damage. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to 5. And I'm just going to pass into their next turn here. I'm not going to like pop it now just for them to Swift Spear me. If they have some indestructible spell. Okay. We've committed a Swift Spear onto the board. Is there some indestructible 1-mana spell I don't know about? Alright, cool. Got a Swift Spear for free there. I guess Lumimancer doesn't actually attack for any damage and I don't have to do anything. If they don't do that there. Okay, I'm gonna Unholy Heat. This thing is a 0 power. I cannot fetch right now, unfortunately. I could counterspell comfortably. I cannot play Dragon's Rage Channeler comfortably because they are a Lightning Bolt deck. I think this is a counterspell. Yeah, just looking at my hand and how long it's going to take me to kill them from here and the fact I'm at 4 already. If I don't start spending my mana, it's just not going to happen. Okay, that was a really good draw. Start turning the corner. I'm going to discard Consider. I think it's the worst card in this hand by a lot. And hope I don't get double bolted right now with this counterspell in my hand. Lava Dart. Yikes, okay. I mean, sure. Forgot about Lava Dart. I'm not excited about this Scalding Tarn with Lava Dart in the graveyard, Lightning Bolt in their deck. I'm still going to Iteration, though. Okay, Counterspell in my hand, or... yeah, Counterspell in my hand, Ragavan on the bottom, exile Blooded Strand. Yeah, I'm in trouble to Lightning Bolt, because with the fetch land, Lava Dart finishes me off. Just going to try not to crack this fetch unless I'm holding up Counterspell. Alright, nothing I can do here. But if they don't put a land face up right now, I can sneak in a Scalding Tarn. Sacred Foundry tapped. Good, good, good. Okay, in the end step, I get to sneak in a tap Scalding Tarn. I have 2 counterspells up. Oh, or 1 counterspell and Murktide Regent. That sounds better. Made it as big as I could, which was 7/7. They have to have 2 bolts or bolt plus counter protection or something here. And they could certainly have it. Using Pyromancer. 7, 8, 9. And these things all fly. Yeah, I'm gonna let this resolve. 7, 8, yeah, okay, they're dead to my Lightning Bolt in hand. Even if they discard 2 Lava Darts, I can just counter one of them. There is a Lava Dart in the graveyard, so I can't go to less life here. Alright, yeah, I believe they're just dead. 7, 8, 9, yeah. I'm just obsessively counting here so I don't mess this up. And finish you off with a Lightning Bolt with Counterspell backup. Bang. Trophy Town. A tasty little 5-0 with Izzet Murktide. It's a tier 1 deck for a reason. But I think we saw throughout this league that this isn't just like some dumb unbeatable tempo deck. We had a lot of interesting decisions. There was a lot of spots where we had to sort of take our foot off the gas, where it's like, I could put you to 1, but I'm dead on the backswing, or like I could put you dead, but if you gain 3 life off your food, I'm dead on the backswing, and really like hold back Murktide Regent as a blocker for 1 turn to buy the turn. How to sequence Connives and Surveils is really tricky. Manipulating Delirium, like, do I want a 3/3 that has to attack, or do I want a 1/1 that can block? Can I get Delirium at instant speed with this Unholy Heat? When do I hold up Counterspell versus push for board presence? There's a lot going on in this deck, and I think the last 5 rounds of play really showed that. Every card in this deck, except for Dress Down. We never drew Dress Down, unfortunately. I mean, I boarded it out. It wasn't great in most of the matchups we saw, but it would have been great against the Scales deck. But every other card in this deck showed up. Like, I saw the Sleight of Hand a weirdly large amount of time, considering it's a 1-of. The number of Ragavans to have in your deck on the play versus the draw versus decks with a bunch of shitty creatures versus not shitty creatures, that's kind of interesting tension that I won't proclaim to be a master of, that I just did things that made sense to me. But I never like cutting Ragavan completely because that card is so messed up, and it's backed by 8 1-mana removal spells in the deck. I don't think I have much to add to this. I would not really critique card choices. Spell Pierce was bananas. 2 felt like the right number. Every time I cast a spell, it felt like the game ended. It facilitated a lot of stuff that decks that aren't playing Spell Pierce can't do. Like, there's no Archmage's Charm in this version. We're much lighter, lower to the ground. And it felt really good. I am a big fan of what's going on here. Justin, I have no critiques for your list. No negative critiques anyway. Your card choices felt great. The balance felt great. And I'm going to leave this here. What's left to say? A perfect performance. Thank you, Justin, for submitting this deck. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Buy some shirts from Coalesce Apparel. Use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order. Check out my Patreon and my Discord community, all that stuff in the video description. And I'll see you for the next one.